Hello, good morning, one and all, and thank you all for joining today's session in DevIncept contribution program. I hope you all are doing well and in great health. Okay. And for the ones who have been joining us from the past sessions, thank you so much for your participation. I hope you have learned a lot out of these sessions and also coded a lot in our contribution program. And today is going to be our last sessions. Okay, last two sessions for this program, and we end with this program by the end of this month. So, talking about today's session, it's going to be delivered by Mrinal Jain. So, talking a bit about him. So, Mrinal is currently working as a front-end engineer at Feed. He's also community lead for Facebook Developer Circles Indo. Also, he is passionate evangelist and expert collaborator, offering more than 5 years of community management experience in the Indian ecosystem. He is also comfortable presenting to any audience and working side by side with application developers while coordinating activities with teams of diverse international and internal and external stakeholders. He is also an expert in working with student developer communities and a face and Facebook as a digital marketing associate. So he's an amazing person and a lot of experience he has in community management. And today, the topic for today is he's going to guide you towards building a Flutter chat app with Firebase. Okay, so today's webinar is all going to be about Flutter, and like our guest is here with us, Mrinal is here with us. So let me just like invite him to the stream and let him interact with all of you. Hello, Mrinal. I hope you all are doing well. How are you?
Yeah, hi Omkar. I'm doing good. Like really nice to be here this morning for the session on Flutter. I hope everyone is doing great and you guys had a great time attending all the previous sessions for this series. And I hope we'll enjoy this particular session as well because it's really gonna be fun. We'll be sort of trying to we'll try to complete the whole app within whatever time frame we have. I have all the sort of ingredients with me, sort of learn even if we are like left behind at some particular time. I have created some basic examples. I already have a prototype prepared, so even if like you are left out somewhere, you can just go through that particular prototype and start working on that. So yeah, that is there. Also just a bit about me, like how do I like to take sessions. It won't be just a one-on-one session where I'll be speaking about few stuff and you guys will be listening. Just make sure that it's a dialogue basically. Like even if I'm speaking something, you guys have any questions, any doubts, just go in the comment section, ask the doubts directly. We'll clarify the doubts right then and there. So that is something which is there. Also, like whosoever is attending the session, like watching the session live as of now, it would be great if you guys can let me know in the comment section at what stage are you in terms of mobile application development or specifically Flutter, so that I'll get a brief about what kind of audience is watching, so that I can emphasize on the topics which are relatively new to you guys, and not just focus on those topics which are already known to you. Basically, we'll try not to waste a lot of our time. So yeah, a lot of people are saying that you guys are like beginners in Flutter. Since you already know that in this particular session, we'll try to complete an app. Basically, right from the beginning, we'll try to complete an app. So as the name of the session is that it would be a chat application. So that is one thing, a chat application. Second, we'll be using Firebase. Third, it would be with the help of Flutter. So like these are the three things which we'll try to cover. So first focus would be on to introducing you guys to Flutter, what's the IDE, how it basically works. Second point, creating a UI in Flutter with the help of Dart and uh, uh, the Flutter's framework. And then later on, we'll see that, okay, how to make it working with the help of Firebase. So a bit of introduction about Firebase as well. Correct. So yeah, I have a app prepared, I guess. Yeah, it is there with me. So this is the basically this is, if you guys can see my phone, this is the app which we will try to make. So this is the login screen of the app. So I'll sort of quickly log in, and then stuff and rate 1 2 3 4 5. Yeah. So this is the login app. There are few authentications as well which I have kept, that if I will enter a wrong email or wrong password, it will give me some sort of error. There's also a sign up screen where I can just sign up and create a new account. So let's try to instead create a new account. So let's name it DevIncept and dev @gmail.com. Let's give it SPR. Again, let's confirm the password. There's option to add image as well. So I'll go and add image into it and then click sign up. So as soon as I clicked sign up, so you can see this is the chat app which is there. So it's a dummy chat app. So I have sort of created a lot of dummy accounts and like random messages over here. There's option to send message as well at the bottom. So like I can click on it, I can type whatever I want to, and then click on send. So as soon as you click on send, see there's a message from your side. So all these things we'll try to create, and then obviously there's a logout feature at the top, so I can click on logout and that's gone. So this is something which we'll try to create today. uh, Still, like, any questions, just let me know. Any specific topic which you want me to speak about, you can definitely let me know. Like, if there's any question which needs to be answered right then and there, I'll definitely take it. Otherwise, I'll ask the moderator to sort of keep a list of questions which we can take at the end of the session. So that is something which we are going to build. So let's try to shift the focus towards next. I'll share my screen. Yeah. Omkar, if you can share the screen. Correct. Okay. I hope it's visible. I'm not sure if it's working or not.
Yes, sir,
Okay.
I think there's a problem. There's a problem. It's not coming. I
It's
cannot
just
see it.
like got hanged, right? So what you can do is,
Yeah,
okay, I'll share it again. I'll stop and share it again.
yeah, yeah, sure.
Yeah, meanwhile you guys can ask like questions. I can see a lot of questions. Definitely I'll answer all those. So
Yeah,
let's
absolutely.
try.
All your questions will be answered. Just type it in the live chat and we'll ask it to Mrinal.
Okay, yeah, I have shared it now.
Again, I think it's the same problem.
Okay, I got it. Just a second. So there are questions about state management and stuff. Definitely we'll take those questions as well. Obviously, like, one of the major questions which I receive a lot of times, that like what is the scene of Flutter? Uh, like there are Android developers with 7, 8, 9 years of experience. Same case with the iOS development. Like, what would be the scene? Like, why would companies prefer to uh, adopt Flutter and all that stuff? Definitely we'll answer all those
Absolutely.
things. So
Yeah, yeah. We'll take the questions at the end. Right now, let's just learn something. It's what I feel. Yes, absolutely. Now it's so showing loading. Yes, yes. Now
Correct.
it's done.
So I'll quickly take through my introduction. We have wasted a lot of time. So myself, Mrinal Jain. I'm a Facebook developer circle lead for Central India. I'm working as a tech speaker for Mozilla from past 5 years, speaking about a lot of web technologies and stuff. Started my open source or let's say community journey with Microsoft Student Partner Program. So yeah, that is what I started working as initially when I was in college. I'm also associated with Free Code Camp community. They guys have huge number of free learning material for almost all the front end technologies and the back end technologies, be it database, Node, React, Angular, whatever you want to learn. They have each and everything available. So I help them with the content creation and stuff. So it is something which I'm helping out. I'm also working with code.org as an international partner. So they specifically focus on creating learning materials for school going students. So that is something which is really great, and I help them with all their stuff. I'm an independent developer evangelist as well. Also for full time, I'm working with Witty Feed as a full stack developer. So that is something which I've been doing. So yeah, that is all about the stuff which we have been doing. So great. Let's start with the Flutter thing as of now. So like even before even before starting to work on any particular application, be it whatever technology, be it Flutter, be it any website, whatever you're creating, you need to have some sort of design in your mind, correct? That this is something which I'm gonna build. So let's quickly try to sort of perceptualize that this is something which we are gonna build today. So let's take an example. This would be our mobile screen, correct? It's gonna be a chat application. I have already shown you the example. It would be divided into two parts. First would be the authentication screen, and second would be the chat app screen. Okay, so will be the two screens which would be there. uh, at the end of it, this is something which I wanted to show before designing the prototype. This is something which I want to show. You guys can visit this particular GitHub profile of mine. I have already created a sample Flutter chat application. I'll try to share the URL, so that you guys can directly click on it and just go through it. So Omkar, if you can share the URL wherever, from wherever all these people can just access it. Yeah. So this is the particular URL where I have uploaded the working sample of this particular application which we are going to build today. I uploaded it. I created it almost like 3 months before. So there is a probability that it might not directly run because Flutter is still in its development phase. Like there are updated versions almost every 5 to 7 days. So there is a probability you might have to upgrade few dependencies and stuff. But yeah, the code and everything is like in proper working condition. So if you want to just go to this particular application, just clone it or maybe star the repository and stuff so that you can just follow along with this particular session, even if you're watching it sometimes later. So yeah, this is something which we are gonna build as of today. Correct. So now back to our design. So this would be our very first screen, which would be chat application, chat screen, login or authentication we'll watch later. So let's say this is how it's gonna look. There might be a header at the top, which would be reflecting name of the chat or something like that. Then let's assume at the bottom of the screen, there would be a section where you can click and enter text. Most probably another button which would be there to sort of click and send the message, and the complete section which is there in the between of these two screens would be somehow designed like this. Okay. On left, on right side there would be your message, and on the left side the message from the other person, and then this is how it would be, correct? So this is something which we're gonna try to make with the help of Flutter. How many of you have a background of HTML and CSS? If you guys can let me know, or whatever designing background you guys have, because I can clearly see that if you were a HTML developer, or you might have worked with websites, as soon as you might have seen this layout, it would have been like pretty much clear to you that, okay, if I was making it with the help of HTML, this is what I'll be using to create it. For example, lots of divs, and this chat bubbles would be somewhere around spans with border radius and stuff. So let me know in the comment section that what was the experience. Correct. Great. So this is something which we are going to make now. Let's quickly shift to explaining two basic things which will be needed. First, a quick introduction to Flutter. Second, a quick introduction to Firebase. Correct. So this is the working environment basically where we'll be working. There are quite a few files open. So for all those who are new to Flutter, I'll try to uh, quickly take you guys through a few commands which you can use. So yeah, I'm sure you guys must be familiar with VS Code. There's nothing better option, there's no better option available than VS Code as of now. So I'm sure you guys must be using VS Code. Let me adjust the screen so that you're pretty much comfortable. If the font size is needed to be increased, just let me know in the comments section. Correct? Yeah. So just like any other IDE, or just like any other library or anything, Flutter also provides us with a set of commands which you can use to make your Flutter development journey much easier. So the very first command, you can just see it in the terminal section. If you want to create a brand new Flutter project, correct? A brand new Flutter project. So just there are two options. Either you can just make it from the command sections, which is Flutter new application project. You can select it from here. As soon as you'll click on it, Flutter would ask you to sort of select a folder where you want to create it. So let's say I choose somewhere around this development library, correct? I chose this, and then Flutter would ask me the name of the project. As soon as I enter the name of the project and click enter, internal process would be running, and this sort of folder structure would be created automatically. The folder structure which you can see at your screens at the left section of your screen, this is something which would be created. So just before the session, I created a new Flutter project by the name of DevIncept, and these are all the basic things which I got in my folder structure. So that is the very basic first command which you guys can use. Now, in order to run the project for the very first time, again, very simple thing. Even before running, I'll quickly take you through the folder structure. So all these files which are starting with dot, you guys can ignore it, since you guys know that Flutter is a cross-platform application development platform. So there would be a folder available for your Android build. There would be a folder available for your iOS build, which you can see it here. And then there would be a folder available for your web build as well, which you can see it here. And be it any other platform. If you are making it for Android TV, if you are making it for Apple TV, for Linux, for Windows, so whatever functionalities you start adding to your Flutter project, all the folders would be available here. So the build folders of all those projects would be available here. As of now, Flutter is supporting three major platforms in the stable release, which is Android, iOS, and web. So that's the reason you can by default see these three folders. If you want to make Windows and Linux and all those applications as well, so you can shift to Flutter's dev or master channel. There you will get all the support for all the channels as well. So these are the folders which are available. All the coding stuff which you will be doing would be in this library folder, the library folder. So again, the folder structure and everything, it completely depends on you, whatever you want to do. Just like every application has a main method where you start or initialize the running of the code. So again, Flutter also has it. This is the main method of Flutter, which you can see. The Dart code which you are seeing, it's almost equivalent to the oops concepts and everything. So if you are familiar with writing JavaScript, if you are familiar with writing JSON objects and stuff, this might seem familiar to you. At the same time, if you are familiar with understanding of good understanding of HTML and stuff, so the designing and everything would be much easier for you, because it's almost similar as, like, designing stuff is almost similar as HTML part of it. So this is the very first part of it, correct? So yeah, this was about the folder structure. Now let's try to run our application, the initial application which was basically created by Flutter when we tried to create a project. So at the bottom of the screen, you guys can see that I can select a target where I want to run this particular application. So as I said, we get a Chrome option as well, where we can run our application as a website. We get Android as a platform, we get iOS as a platform, we get TV also as a platform. So initially what we'll try to do is we'll try to just run it on the Android emulator, which is made over here. So there are two options for running. Either you just type flutter run, this is one option. The second option is, it's much easier, at the right top section you have option to run. So just need to click on it. So at this very moment, what Flutter would be doing is, would go through your code, like the complete code which you can see over here, take the sections which are specifically built for Android part of it, shift that particular code to this Android build section, and then run the Android application. So that is the process which happens for almost all the platforms. Like, we write a common code in the library section for whatsoever platform we are running it. It would compile the code for that particular platform. So that is something which is there. Also, if you are a Android developer and have worked with Android Studio and stuff, uh, you might be knowing that building an application, running an application is quite a heavy task, right? It's not easy. Like Android Studio, just maybe use kiya, you guys must be feeling the pain, that, like, how difficult it is. So let's try to run our application initially. So while the application is running, let's open a few files on which we'll be working, or else I'll try to explain you the content of main.dart, correct? So let's start from the top. So at the top, there are import section, like whatever files you want to import, be it internal or be it external, be it a library or be it a module which you have created in your application. So at the top, that is the section. Then comes the important line, which is run app method for Flutter. So this is the line which basically starts your application or initializes your application, which is run app, and it takes an object which object's name is my app. Now you can see that my app is defined as here. Those who are familiar with OOPS concepts, they can see that almost everything is a class in Flutter. Everything which we defined, everything which we defined is a class in Flutter. I have got a feedback from future engineer that lots of patience. Like, am I speaking too fast or anything like that? Just let me know. I'll try to incorporate your feedback right then and there. Correct. So while our application is still in running phase, I'll try to explain this file. Yeah, so my app is basically uh, uh, a class which again returns an object, uh, and that particular class returns an object, and that object is basically our complete app, like the complete app. So if you can see, this class is returning a material app, and inside this material app object our complete application would be running, like 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 our complete application would be running inside this particular material app. I'll be using a word widget a lot of times during this session. So everything in a Flutter scenario is class, correct, is made up of class, and all those classes are given names as different widgets, correct. So for example, this class is given a name of material app, then again this class is given a name of theme data. So all these classes in Flutter language are known as widgets. So I'll call everything as a widget from now on. So you can define different stuffs in your material app. You can define title of your application. Title is basically something which is visible like in your application's name while you're exploring your application, or if it's in gallery section or somewhere there, you see that this particular name. So this is the name which you see in your application. And then there's a theme section where we can define basic theme data of your application, like color and all that stuff. What would be the font size, font family, basic stuff, right? There is something there. And then there is a parameter which is home. So basically this is the landing page of your application. Landing page as in, as soon as the user would open your application, after the splash screen, which is the screen which would be visible to the user. So as of now, what I have shown here is the chat screen, correct. So let's try to explore our chat screen after this. So this is the basic thing which you will be writing, or if you are creating a new app with flutter run command, this code which would be visible to you, like given to you by Flutter by default. So I have created a chat screen. So let's try to visit the chat screen now. Okay, so again, chat screen is something similar, like the structure is almost similar to the main.dart file, correct. It's just that I have incorporated chat screen over here. So again, created a new file, same stuff, importing few things at the top, or then creating this thing. Let's do one thing. Let's completely remove the code and then try to write it again at our own, correct. So this is something which we want. This must be clear. This, we want user to visit the chat screen initially whenever the user visits our screen. So we created a new file with the name of chat screen. So the very first thing which you need to do is, since VS Code is very useful for the developers, so there are lots of shortcuts available. So you just need to write STL and then press tab and then press enter. So it would give you a template of basic widget of Flutter. Just need to write STL and then it's there. Now what you can do is you can name your widget. So what was the name of our widget? Chat screen, correct. It is what our name was, correct. So this is something which is there. Now in order to use all the Flutter's services which are available, there is one basic import which you will need to be doing almost every time, which is material. Correct. Why material? Because Flutter is a framework which is created by Google, and Google supports material design, and all the important features of material design, be it UI, be it UX, everything is available in this particular package, which is incorporated in Flutter. You just need to import it. So as soon as you import this material design, now you can use almost all the material UI guidelines and everything which are available in Flutter in your project. Correct. So this is something which is there. In the meantime, we can also see that our application is now in running stage. Correct. Uh, Nothing might be visible because we are not returning anything over here. So let's try to return something. Yeah. So initially I have returned an app bar and then a body. By the way, like how many of you guys have got the access to this Flutter's Copilot? And just let me know in the comment section, like if you have got it, and like if you have got it, like how is the experience? Because I have been using it for almost a month now, since it was in the early stage. So I'm just loving it. You might see it in the working as well. Again, another important feature of Flutter that you can just see it, like as soon as I'm typing anything in the uh, code section part of it, you can directly see it reflecting in the application. Again, the patience required for the Android developers, because you had to sort of make the build again and again. Like if you were creating the UI part of it, it was completely fine. You can just see the reflections, the changes in the Android application right then and there. But if you are sort of changing any functionality or anything, you had to rerun the application and again and again. But in case of Flutter, that is not the case. You can just like use the hot restart or auto reload feature which is there in the application. Correct. So if you have made any change, and you will save the file, Flutter will automatically change it. For example, see, I have written DevIncept, and then let's say I write chat app over here, and as soon as I save it, you will see that it would be performing hot reload, and then automatically that change would be visible to your application which is running over here. Correct. So this was the very basic flow that we created. We got a page with the help of Flutter's creating new app command. There we had an option to introduce our home screen, which would be visible to the users. What we did is we introduced a chat screen, and in the chat screen we created a new file, chat screen, and then with the help of Flutter's STL command, we created a stateless widget. In that particular widget, whatever you are gonna return in this particular section, correct, this would be the UI part of it. Be it any page, you will see, if you go to the main section, whatever you are gonna return from the widget would be the visible section. Correct. For example, let's click on this. I'm not sure the emulator would be working properly or not. Yeah, it's working like properly. See, so this is something which is there. So Flutter by default provides you all the functionalities. For example, see, there's a fav icon also available, and all the stuff available over here, right, which is visible there. We'll select it. Okay, correct. So now back to our design part. So this is something which we wanted to create, correct? This is something which we wanted to create in our UI section. So let's quickly try to create all this stuff. So we already have an app bar which is created. In app bar, what you can do is you can pass title, if I'm not sure, yeah, title, and that title will take a text. All these widgets which I'm passing in the like which I'm writing, what you can do is you can visit Flutter's widget catalog. It's as simple as using all the HTML elements. So just don't need to worry about like what widgets I'm using, like text, app bar, center, and all that stuff. It's just like when you initially started building like HTML and stuff, and you were like relatively new to like what is div, what is span, like, and how paragraph works, and what like how do I center anything and stuff. So it's almost similar, like, and it's very easier in case of uh, Flutter. For example, if you might have seen that, like I have introduced a text, and the text name is DevIncept chat app, and it's here, like, and I have kept it in a center widget. So if I'll remove it from the center widget and then save it, you will see that it would directly uh, go to the top left section. Correct? It's there. Uh, if we had to center align it in case of HTML, we would be using some sort of setting that text align center, keeping it inside a div and then giving it text align center. So similar is the case with Flutter. You can use the center widget of Flutter to keep anything in the center of the screen. So this is something which I use. So as soon as I put it in the center of the widget, it automatically keeps it over here, correct? So this is something which is there. Just to give you a quick feel about what all widgets are available, so this is the website, Flutter widgets catalog. Just go through it. Correct. So yeah, these are there. So like there are so many, almost equivalent of all the HTML widgets are available, and I would say more than that are available. So like you can just go through all of them. Like there are so many availables, like buttons and text effects and everything, like components, and by default they have all the click functionalities and stuff. So you can just go through any of it. Like there are so many things available. Like let's try to, let's say let's check out input materials, correct? So there are forms available, there are form field available, everything is available, buttons and everything, correct? Animations and stuff. So just need to visit this particular section, like Flutter catalogs, widget catalogs. So the documentation part of Flutter is like really good. Like even if you are starting as a new joinee, like you can just visit the documentation and everything would be sort of available for you right then and there, correct? So let's not waste the time and let's quickly try to create the UI now. So as you might have remembered that we had a header section in the UI which we created. Also, we had a part where we had an option to log out, correct? There was an option to log out also available. So what you can do is inside your app bar itself, you can pass another widget which is actions, and inside the particular actions widget, what you can do is you can pass a drop down. Now what this drop down button takes is again a set of items. Even before items, it can take an icon as well. See the usefulness of uh, autopilot, correct? I have just written one word and it is giving me all the suggestions which can be used for using all these things. So let's say I want to use the icon of more. And then let's say it doesn't take child, it might be taking items. Inside the items, there's a possibility that it might take another. So this is the drop down button. There is some indentation problem. Let's just quickly try to fix it. So this is something, and then one. Oops. Yeah, it is clear now. Now we'll introduce items. Items would be taking its. You can see all the changes visible inside, correct? In child, you can give it a text like one. I try to save it. You can see that now we have a drop down item available over here, correct? And if you click on it, you can see the item one, correct? Will make the UI appear much better, but it is something which we have achieved, correct? Now so that was the top section of it. Now in the body section, basically this is the body section. As of now, the complete body consists of what? It just consists of just one text. So what we'll be trying to do is we'll quickly create a container. This would be something which would be having our child. Our body would be consisting of mainly two sections, as in the first section, which would be having a list of our chats. These are the cons of using autopilot as well. It tries to sort of override almost everything which you are writing. So it gets kind of irritating at times. Even if I'm typing something, it would be like, no, you should type this and all. So it gets irritating a lot of time. So that is a feedback which I have for Copilot. But yeah, again, it's helpful at times. Yes, we have a container. Inside that container, I am having a child. The child would be a column. So just like Bootstrap provides us with rows and columns, right? So Flutter also provides with us the same stuff. So you can have a basically you can have a set of uh, children's inside your column. So let's try to quickly see how it works. So let's say I have a text widget, correct, inside a column. So this is the only widget we have as of now. So it would be visible somewhere around at the top section, correct? Hello devs. I can have as many as widgets I want. So I can have like multiple text sections, correct? Now, so it's like quickly visible. So this is the beauty of column. Now you can provide different as HTML. In HTML you can provide CSS, correct? So in Flutter you can provide CSS or designing elements right inside the element itself. So let's say a suggestion which autopilot is giving, that you can align the devices in the text in the center. So if I'll accept it and let's try to save it. So let's have a look what happens. Correct. So see, it is at the center of the screen now. If you want it to be at the complete center of the screen, so what you can do is, there's another property which is cross alignment axis. See, yeah, the autopilot is now really working well. So there's one thing which autopilot, like if you if you have crossed the initial phase of it, then it would be definitely helpful to you, because like it would just learn from all the stuff which you are working on and then give you very, very important suggestions. So that is something which is there. So this is the place where you can provide all the CSS part of your stuff. Again, just like the column, there's also a row widget. So let's see what happens if I use a row. Correct. So many of you might be knowing that what row does is, it scales in the horizontal direction, and the white and black lines which you're seeing are the basically out of bound error which we are getting, because we have mentioned like so many texts and the screen size is much less, so it won't give the scroll functionality automatically. You'll have to specifically provide it. So if you want to do it, let's come back to the column. Right now, another thing which we want in our application is, which is like really, really important, is a text field to basically allow user to enter something. So there's an option.
Hello, Mrinal. Hello.
Yes,
There's a comment from Mahesh. He's saying, if possible, can you please max the code a little bit?
sure, no issues. I hope this is like fine.
Yes, it's good.
Correct. So yeah. So this is something which is there now. Column candidate. What we'll try to do is, we'll take all this text messages part. We'll put it inside that, and then we'll try to introduce another child which can be our text field. Correct. So now let's take another container child. We'll be needing to adding a text field as of now. Correct. So again, text field to add, in order to add a text field, let's take there's a widget by the name of text field. Let's save it. Okay, so as you can see now, we have some sort of text field available. Now in order to sort of make it more visible, there is a property which is decoration property, which is available, which you can use it, and then inside it So there is another square. Let's try to remove this. Text field closes here, and then your expanded section closes here, and then your container. Okay, now we have a proper alignment. Right? This indentation is really important in case of Flutter. Okay, so let's try to quickly make our decoration work. So here is the input decoration. Inside input decoration, what you can very first is provide the text, which would be visible. Correct. Yeah. So this is something which we have now. So whatever you want to type, you can type in this text message sections. And as soon as you close it, yeah. So this is what you have now. Along with this, you also need a button, correct? So what we'll be doing is we'll be taking a row, and inside that row, just alongside our text field, we'll have another widget, which is icon. This button would be taking as a parameter is at the very first, what would be happening when you press the button. So as of now, I'll pass an empty function, and the second thing which is obvious, that what should be the icon. So see, as soon as I started, it already gave me that can use the option to use the icon of sending something. We'll refresh it. Okay, so this is some basic UI which we have as of now, correct? Now what we'll do is we'll quickly try to make our text messages look a bit better, correct? So let's try to go to our chat messages. I'll remove all of them and just work on one particular message. So definitely it would be having something. All the chats should be either left or right aligned. So what I'll do is I'll keep the cross axis alignment to not center rather than start. So what it will do is it will take our element at the right section. Now, this was the very first thing which we wanted to do. Now what we'll be doing is let's try to provide some sort of decoration to our container, that how it would be looking. So there's a decoration object which you can give. you have it now alongside the decoration and color part of it. You can also give width and height. So let's say it would be somewhere around 300. Right? Just like HTML and CSS, there are all the options available. Like I can give padding as well. It's just that it has some sort of different ways of giving it. So give a padding of symmetric, let's say vertical would be somewhere around 16, and then horizontal would be somewhere around 10. Okay, so this is how our chat bubble would be visible as of now. Correct. Also, what we can do is we can provide a margin as well, and the margin would be also somewhere around similar. So yeah, this is something which we have as of now. Also, just alongside the decoration part, what I can do is there's another property which is visible, which is border radius. What border radius does is it provides try to give it to all the right. So now what we have is proper border radius for our messages, correct? So this is something which we have as of now. I've tried to create a very simple UI. What you can do is you can like do so many things, like make it sure that you also add an image or anything like that which was there. So what I have tried to explain you is like the very basic stuff, that this is how you can sort of create and make designs in your application, correct? So now since we have our basic UI created, I'll quickly take you through the next step, which is introducing you to the Firebase part of it. So in the comment section, if you guys can like quickly tell me like have you guys ever used any Firebase service, or like have tried to use it, anything? Like there are so many Firebase services available. Like you can save data, you can save pictures, you can analyze your application, you can analyze your websites, you can provide login functionality. There are like so many things. So just let me know in the comment section if you have used it. So for this particular application, since it's a chat application, what we'll be using is we'll be using Firestore, correct? A Firestore is a feature of again feature provided by uh, Firebase. With the help of Firestore database, we can sort of manage the real-time uh, database. So whatever users are typing in their comments, chat section and stuff, it directly goes to the Firestore database, and then with the help of that particular Firestore database, it is sent to the other user, or it is sort of made visible to the other user. So that is something how it definitely works. So I'll quickly explain you to take you through the project's overview. I have already created a project in Flutter. If you want to create another project, I can also do that for you guys. So let's go to the, let's say if I want to create a new project. So you can visit console.firebase.google.com. Just make sure that your project is always on this Spark plan, correct? Until and unless you are on this Spark plan, you won't be charged anything for using any service, like be it any service which is there. Until and unless you are in the free tier, it will keep on running. Once you are done with the free tier, it would stop running. It won't charge you anything. So just make sure your application, whatever it is running, it's on Spark plan. So there would be an option to add a project. It's very simple. Just add a name of the project. So let's say I entered the name. I clicked on continue. It would ask me very basic stuff, that like what all features I want to use and not. Another toggle which is available for Google Analytics. So by default, if you want to make sure that the number of users and stuff who are visiting your website, if you want to see it, you can just make sure that this feature is turned on. Click on next. Select your Google account. I'll select one of my Google account. It's all free. Like this, there is not a single penny charged for using this free Firebase services, correct? So while this project is being created, we'll try to visit Firebase in another tab chat while it's created. Also, I'll be introducing you to plugins. Website. Correct. So it is pubs.dev. Correct. So pub.dev. So here the website is ready. So our project is ready. So now, as you can see, you can add multiple platforms to your Firebase console. Like you can add a website, you can add an Android app, you can add iOS app and stuff. So as of now, we are creating an Android app. So what we'll do is we'll create an Android app. You need to write name of your application. So what is this mentioned? You need to write Android package name over here, correct? So what is the package name of your file? Package name is simply whatever name you gave for your application. In our case, what was the name which we gave was DevIncept, correct? So what would be the package name? com.devincept. This is the very simple methodology which you can use, that is required. Now name of the application, whatever you want to give, and once you like complete this files and click on register, it would automatically validate your application with the help of this name, which is present on the Firebase console as well as on your application. It would automatically validate it, and then it will take you to the dashboard section, which is visible here. Yeah, as you can see, our new project is also visible here, and I have an old project as well, which is visible here. Now let's quickly go through our code again. So as I mentioned that like till this pages are loading, as I mentioned that we have created the basic UI as of now. In order to introduce any Firebase service in our application, what we need to include is a package which is associated with that particular services. So at the bottom of this section, you can see there's a pubspec.yaml file available. So be it any sort of developer you are, for example, if you are an Angular developer, there's a file available at the base of your project, which is angular.json, where you include all the include all the sort of packages and plugins. If you are a regular HTML developer, you include all the plugins in your script section and in the head section, correct? So similarly, in case of Flutter, all the plugins which you want to include are included in pubspec.yml. It's a very simple scenario. Just name the plugin uh, from whichever website you are including it, and name the version of it, correct? So as of now, what we are using is, we are using just two plugins. One is the Cupertino icons, because we needed this send icon and all these icons, so I included this icon plugin by default. And then second, there is Cloud Firestore, correct? So as I mentioned, we will be using the Firestore service of Firebase, so that's the reason we have included this Firestore plugin. Now, where do we find all these plugins? There's a website by the name of pub.dev. You can find almost all the plugins like which are available, like for any other platform. For example, if you are using HTML, Angular, or anything like that, there are lots of plugins for like date parsing and then creating image pickers and all that stuff. So there are like all the plugins available here as well. Like you can search for any plugin over here, like Firebase. If I'll search, all the Firebase plugins are available. Even a complete UI chat UI plugin is also available, where you just need to connect it with your database and you have a UI part ready of it. There is Firebase core. There are like so many things. So what we wanted to use is Firestore, correct? Firestore. So this is the plugin. Let's click on it. So now on the plugin page, you will have almost all the things available. You will have a proper example which you can sort of directly copy and paste in your application and start using it. If you want to install it in your own way, it would be explaining the way to install the plugin as well. And there are like all the available. If you want to use a version which was a bit older one, so you can go to the versions tab and you can use any of the versions, correct? So you can just have a look that when I created this application, I was using Cloud Firestore 0.13.5, correct? It was like almost 4 months before when I created this application. And if you'll see, as of now, the latest version is 2.4.0. So like, as I said, like it's very sort of, it's very agile as of now, because like a lot of improvements are being done in Flutter. Now it's supporting web as well, a lot of different OSs as well. So you just need to do it. So whatever plugin you want to use, just copy this particular thing and come to your pubspec.yml and you can paste it. So that is the very basic stuff which you want to do. And then come into the example section. If you want to directly copy the example and paste it in your project, you can also do that. It would by default start working, correct? So what I have done is, I have a basic example already created, which I'll show it to you guys as of now. So this is something which with a chat screen which we created as of now, correct? There's another chat screen which is created with the same UI, but the Firestore is also integrated into it, correct? So I'll quickly explain you that particular file and then we'll wrap up, correct? So as you can see it, as of now, we don't need the UI part of it. So I'll just quickly zoom it, correct? So as it was mentioned in the installation part of this particular plugin, what you need to do is, at first, you need to add this to dependencies. We have already done it. Second, wherever you want to use it, you need to import this cloud.firestore part. Okay? So if you will see it, I have already imported it in my plugin, in my file. Okay. Now let's go back to the example section. What are the next steps which is giving? So In order to just understand how the complete Firestore works, I'll quickly like explain it in form of a story, how everything works and how everything is connected, and then we'll jump to the code so that it's much easier for you to understand. So basically, consider Firestore is a live database, correct? So whenever user types anything in its chat section, in its input box, and presses enter, that particular message is stored in the Firestore database. Where is this Firestore database? Here is the Firestore database. Yeah, so this is the Firestore database. And at the very same moment, all the other devices who are using the same application are checking with the Firestore database that is there any new message. So whosoever, like whatever user enters is stored in form of a chat in this database, and at the same time the other applications who are reading it gets a notification that yes, there's a new message, so they start showing it on the other phone as well. So this is how it works. Whatever user enters in the chat section and presses enter, we call a service and send that message to the Firestore database. At the same moment, there's another service which is running in all the other devices, which is reading data from the Firestore database. So these are the two services which will be using, and this is how the Firestore database looks like each and everything, each and every chat, basically, if you will see, is considered this, it's part of this. Like there are like so many chats which we have by default sent. So like we have mentioned, we have sent, created, date, image, URL, text, like what is the basic text, user ID and username, and all this stuff, correct? So this is what we have tried to send. In all this field, we'll be creating it in our UI as well. So now here, so here is the actual implemented Firestore service. So as I mentioned, we will be using two basic features of Firestore. One, sending data to the Firestore database. Second, continuously reading data from the Firestore database. So let's see the first part, which is reading the database, Firestore database, correct? So there's a widget in Flutter which is named as Stream Builder. Now, by the name, what it suggests is it creates a stream which is never dead. So basically what we can provide to the stream is we can provide URL to the database. That particular stream will provide URL to the database. Now what that stream would be doing is whenever there's even a small change in that particular database, it will update the UI below it, correct? कभी भी database में कुछ भी change हुआ, and what is the change? Any message, any new message, correct? So in this stream, we'll provide the URL to the database. This URL we can get it from the chat section, correct? See, this chat slash whatever the name of the chat is, and this is the name of the database. Exactly same thing which we have entered over here. So you need to create an instance of Firestore and then provide the URL to the database. Now it would be continuously reading. It's just like adding a listener in JavaScript, or adding a event listener in JavaScript, or a listener to the video. It's as similar as creating a stream. So as soon as anything changes, what Stream Builder does is it creates another UI. So what our UI is doing is whatever messages are available, it is creating a list out of it. So as soon as any new messages appear here in this new stream, what the Stream Builder does is creates this list again so that a new message can be incorporated. So that is something which happens over here, correct? So this is the way to write Firestore database. You can also see it in the comment section. Oh, you can also see it in the example section, correct, of the Firestore. So you need to create an instance, then provide a URL. So this is the first part, that how a continuous stream is maintained. Now second thing, what was the second sort of requirement we had? The second requirement we had was that how you can send data to the Firestore, correct? So for sending data to the Firestore, This is the service which you can use. Again, the way of writing is almost simple. Just one difference here, what we are doing in case of adding messages, we are writing firestore.instance, giving it URL to the database. But after that, what we are doing is dot add. We are adding a new message, correct? So as of now, I am passing a dummy message. But what we can do is we can save the message which user has typed in the input box and pass it over here as a variable. That also we can do. But as of now, I am passing a dummy message. So here I am adding the message to Firestore, and at the top you will see I am just reading the messages from the Firestore. Messages dot snapshot, it means I am reading the message, and at the click of add event, what I am doing is from the database I am adding the messages. So whenever I'll click this particular button, it would add a this was added by clicking button message to the Firestore. For example, if I'll visit the Firestore as of now, and you will see that if we scroll to the messages, correct? So like all these messages which you can see are added with the help of that particular add button, correct? So this is the like the basic flow which is available for the Firestore, and you can use n number of plugins, n number of similar plugins from this particular pub.dev websites. For example, let's say if I want to add uh, image as well, so there's a Firebase storage plugin, if I'm not sure it is available. What this plugin provides is it provides you to with the storage capacity, so you can store any data over here, be it image or anything, and just with the help of similar commands which are available here. For example, as of now, what I'm doing is I'm just adding a text, but by using Firebase storage, what you can do is in the same function you can send users image as well. So for example, if you want to add a image sending functionality to your chat application, so you can use same thing. It would be stored in Firestore database, you'll get a URL from there, and then you can show it to the user. So all these plugins are available with the example usage. You just need to copy and paste it in your application, and it will start running. So there are like so many Firebase users available. So like these are the basic two things which I wanted to mention. Then there are like so many other available as well. For example, uh, you can use notifications as well. There is a Firebase messaging plugin which is available for sending notification. So what you can do is, how you can implement that notification plugin is that you already have this stream running, correct? What this stream is doing is, as soon as any new message is added to this particular stream, it rebuilds the below build list below it, correct? So again, in case of notifications, what you can do is use the same stream, and below it not build the list. What you can do is you can send a notification as soon as any new message is added, so you can do that as well. So there are like so many options available. The plugin is Firebase messaging, I guess. Yeah, correct. So there is something which is there. So I guess, yeah, that there is something which I like really wanted to cover. Once you will be using all this application, what you can do is you can clone this particular repository which I shared the URL initially. Run the very basic flutter run command, so you will see the complete application which I have sort of tried to explain in parts, different parts, and you can just go through the code and then try to change it accordingly, try to change the UI of it, try to add a feature as a plugins I mentioned. There is Firebase storage and all those plugins available. Try to incorporate them, and it would be definitely great. So yeah, I guess that is it. We can take questions and any specific requirement if you guys have, you want me to speak on, we can do that. And there is something which, yeah, okay,
Yeah. So
Omkar.
yeah. Yes. So it was an amazing session, Mrinal. I must say that a lot of people would get in a lot of insights into what Flutter is, because you
Yeah,
started from right from scratch about giving kind of an overview about Flutter, and then
correct.
like getting in straight into hands-on. Okay, that's very like surprising to see. A lot of hands-on we had, and a lot of people got a lot of insights. But we do have questions. Okay, we do have
Definitely,
questions here.
definitely,
So yeah, so I'll be flashing the questions one by one here, so you can go
definitely.
through it. And yeah,
Correct.
yeah. Okay, yes, this one.
Just a second. So I'll just
You can
stop
see the
sharing my.
questions, I guess.
Yeah, tell me something about state management in Flutter. Correct. So, Anup, as I can guess, you might have worked on a few other platforms as well, be it React, be it React Native, Angular, and stuff. So state management is a very important aspect of any of the application. I'm sharing my screen again, Omkar, just to make sure that. Yeah, so my screen is visible. I'll be using a Chrome tab to just make sure if I want to open something. Yeah. So correct. So Anup, there are different state management tools available in Flutter as well. Let me just visit to pub.dev. Uh, just like in any other application, there is provider. So this is like majorly used in almost all the different platforms, be it React or anything. So that this is also available. Then there are like so many other available, but this is something which I would suggest you to use, because if you are shifting from a React background, from Angular background, this is something which you can definitely use. For everyone else who are not aware of what state management is, so basically state management in an application is basically managing your data across the application. Let's take an example of a website, a clone website of Amazon, correct? So user will be adding items to the cart, correct? Then once he visits the cart, he needs to see almost similar information which was available on the detail page of that particular product, correct? So there's lots of places where you need similar information in your application, so that you can use it whenever you want. So state management provides that functionality to you. You can save that particular information in your application at one place, and you can use it wherever you need into your application. So this is the very basic explanation of state management. It is a very vast use case, like managing login, logout, and all those features. So this is about state management. If you want to use state management in Flutter, provider is the best tool which is available. So I hope I have
Absolutely.
answered your question, Anup.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's go to the next question.
Hmm. So is it necessary to learn Dart before going to Flutter? So Mahesh, Flutter is in itself nothing. Like if you'll say that I'm learning Flutter, it's just a void. Like you'll have to learn Dart in order to work with Flutter, because Flutter is just a tool which sort of compiles your Dart code. So there is nothing to learn in Flutter if you're not learning Dart. Dart is a programming language. As I have shown it to you, it's not that difficult. It's almost similar, a mix and match of JavaScript, object-oriented programming languages, and a bit of CSS. As you might have seen that I was adding padding, margin, and all those color things in itself with the help of structuring as well. So yes, you need to learn that, but I guess it's pretty much easy if you have a background of web development. So definitely you'll have to start learning that, hands on with that. Yeah.
Okay. And
So
many people were asking about how to get access of the Copilot, Flutter Copilot.
Copilot, correct. So I have my screen shared. I guess as of now they have created a website. Since we were the insiders, so we directly got the access to it. So GitHub Copilot, you can visit the website. It's here. Also, if you want me to refer, I do have the, if I'm not sure if I'm allowed to share the repository and stuff, but do try to visit my GitHub profile. You will get it there. So over here on their website, you can just like click on sign up. There's a website, copilot.github.com. You can click on sign up. I guess they'll add you to the wait list, correct? Yeah, as of now they'll say that you can join the wait list, but in my case, I guess, yeah, I already have the access to the repository. So like I can do changes based on my requirements and start using it. But if you want an access, what you can do is you can visit github.copilot.com, copilot.github.com, and sign up over here. Somewhere around 10 to 15 days you'll get the access, and it's really helpful. So yes, you can do that. Next question. I have joined late. Can you tell me how to open the emulator? I'm new to Flutter but want to learn. Correct. So yes, so opening an emulator is like not a big challenge. If you are using VS Code, at the bottom of the screen, you have this option where all the possible emulators available are shown. Even if you want to create one, there's at the bottom of the list, there's an option to create an emulator, correct? Prerequisites are, if you want to create an Android emulator, you need to have Android Studio installed in your laptop. And if you want to create an iOS simulator, you need to have Xcode installed in your application. And then another prerequisite, in order to use Xcode, you need to have a MacBook. So like, yeah, Flutter development can be a bit tricky at times because there are so many platforms coming together. So yeah, like MacBook is the preferred device, but even if you have a Windows or a Linux machine, no one is stopping you from building an application. So you can start working on iOS later, but web and Android, you can work on any device. So yeah, that is there. Correct. So I have a question, like Android Studio, we can run app on our device. So the same thing is also in VS Code. Exactly, Neil. So basically, what VS Code is doing at the backend is this, what your question is. So it is creating a build out of Flutter, converting it into the Android native code. Using the Android Studio, it is creating a build. So Flutter is just one layer above Android Studio, which is turning our Dart code into the Android native code and then running it. So that is something which is there. You can also, what you can also do is, so as the folder structure is was there, correct? This was the folder structure, correct? So what you can do is you can open this particular Android folder, correct? This particular Android folder in your Android Studio and run it. You can do this as well. And same goes for the iOS. You can open this particular in Xcode and run it. Same goes for the website. You can open this particular index.html directly on any Chrome and it would start running. So Flutter is just one layer above all these platforms. That is what it is. Yeah. Next question. Do I need to search Firestore in Google and need to create account, right? Yes. So basically you can just go to Firebase console, log in with your Gmail login, that's itself. It won't ask for any card or anything like that. Just create an application and start working with it. So that is what it is. So there is no specific URL for Firestore, Firebase, and all other applications. There's just one Firebase console where all these things are available. So your default Google account would work with it. And like, just start exploring Firebase. Like, there are so many free things available. So yes, definitely you can do that. Thanks for answering. It was a great session. Thanks. Yeah. Questions? Any more questions? I guess there were like a lot of questions which I ignored initially.
Yeah, but I think we have covered all the questions because I asked
Okay.
all of the questions. So some of the questions related to quiz and stuff like that. So
Okay. Okay.
one more thing I want to clarify here for
Yeah.
everyone who's asking about the quiz. So earlier, what we used to do for the first sessions, we used to send all quizzes after the sessions. So that was a bit
Hmm.
tedious task for us. So now what we are doing is all the four quizzes would be just sent on one email that would you would get after all the four sessions are over. So you'll be getting four quizzes in just one email. So that time you have to attempt it. and the winners would be selected and they'll be announced on the official pages. Okay, so that's the answer for that question. And now coming back to the session, Mrinal, thank you so much for your time. Like, I know it was a bit long session, but you made sure that you covered all like important aspects which are like really necessary in order to build a Flutter app. Okay, and I also learned a lot of new things because I also was like, I knew about Flutter initially, but I didn't know how can I make my app first. Like that was a great session for me as well. It was a great learning experience for me as well, and the audience, I guess, they have also enjoyed. We had a good amount of audience, good amount of questions, you there answering it quite patiently, okay, and giving the right answers. And I hope uh, your doubts are clear, the people in the live chat, like who have asked their questions. And on the whole, it was an amazing learning experience on a weekend, and thank you so much for your presence and for being a speaker for one of our sessions. It's an honor to have you.
Thanks a lot, Omkar. Just one thing to sort of from my side, it's not just about like an hour of session where I'm sharing my knowledge. I'm available 24/7 for almost all the queries which you guys have, not just Flutter. Like I work with different front end technologies as well. So like it's all about helping you guys and like helping you guys to achieve whatever technology you want to learn. So I'm available 24/7. I guess Omkar would be sharing all my social media handles with you guys. So just reach out to me or stay connected for any other further help you guys want in your career.
Yes,
So yeah, that's all from my side.
absolutely. Absolutely. I'm like, I'm sharing all the links which you have shared with them. Okay, your Facebook, your LinkedIn, your Twitter, everything I'm sharing. So please, guys, do check it out. That was an amazing session delivered by Mrinal, and he's quite active on all these social media platforms. So do get in touch with him. Also, do check out his GitHub. I'll give the GitHub link to the Flutter chat once again for you guys so that you can go through it. If you
Correct.
have
And
any questions,
if you'll
just
visit the GitHub profile, it's not just the chat app. There are few other, like so many other Flutter applications which are available. So there's a chat app. There's a complete store application where check in, check out, add to cart, and all those functionalities are available. I try to create more sort of a code lab where I comment below each and every line that for what purpose it is being used. So just explore all those GitHub repositories and use them. Give me feedbacks. Most welcome. Yeah.
absolutely. And it was an so before we go, Brenel, do you want to give some words of community motivation to the like the people who are watching you?
Correct. So like community is the best possible sort of thing which you can come across in your initial journey of tech, correct? Because there are so many things available, like so many resources available, so many video tutorials available, everything is available, but community is something which would give you the response at the earliest. If you're facing any problem, just redirect it towards the community and you'll get a response, not just one response. You'll get like so many responses, and then you can choose something from it. So just make sure that you are part of the community, be it accepting help from others, be it helping others, because you are learning anything. It might be possible that the other person doesn't knows it and you might be able to help him out. So just make sure throughout your journey in tech you are part of some sort of community. I'm into like 5 years of my career and then initial 4 years of my college, so it's been somewhere around 8 years. And like, I have never ever thought of sort of leaving any community, or even after like my 9 to 5 job, I still take out time on Saturdays and Sundays, even if it's an hour break in between working hours. I do take out to be part of any community event which I'm invited to or which I love to participate, because it really helps you. It keeps you relevant, because community discusses about the latest stuff which is going in market, right? So it definitely will help you. So just make sure you are in touch with some sort of community, be it any stage of your life.
Absolutely, that's very well said, Mrinal. And I'm also like you, being 9 years. I've been part of such communities for 3+ years. Okay, so it's an amazing thing to do, and every time I'm doing this, I feel very motivated, and like that the spirit inside us, it wakes up. Okay, and just we
Correct.
deliver. Okay, because the passion I have for communities is quite like it has made me what I am today. Okay, so very well said on that point. Okay, and keep working with such communities. You are doing an amazing job. Okay, I've seen multiple of your talks and stuff like that. So, and also you also were one of our speakers. Okay,
Yeah.
at our community industry inspire talks. So thanks for this session as well, because we really enjoyed it. Okay, and the time was long, but we had a lot of things to learn out of it. Okay, it's what I feel. Every one of them learned something or the other out of this session. Okay,
Correct.
so
Correct. Correct.
thanks once again from the entire DevIncept community, from the team. Okay, and all the best, very best for your future endeavors, for whatever you are doing. Do good in life. Okay, because and all the very best. Okay, for your career.
Thanks. Thanks a lot. Thanks. Thanks a lot.
Yeah, so to everyone who is still watching, just giving you an update about our next session. So it's going to be from 2 to 3, and it's going to be delivered by Pranjal, and the topic is going to be introduction to blockchain. So that's going to be our last webinar for this week and for this program as well, and we'll be wrapping this program a bit later, but the sessions are going to be concluded by today. So hope you guys enjoyed it, and hope you all have filled the certificates form which is given to you, and you will get the quiz links after these 4 sessions are over on your mails, and also the certificates as well. So the time would be a bit long, like 1 or 2 days you'll have, because we have on and on sessions going on. So you'll get it, don't worry. Okay, you'll get all the certificates, and if you don't get it, just mail us at support@devincept.tech, and somebody from the community would definitely like respond to your query. And you can find all the links to our social handles in the description box below. So do check it out, do follow us on all the social media platforms, and help us reach every individual, every college, so that we can also make them learn in demand skills for free. So thank you all for joining. I'll see you guys in the next session. So bye.